Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thanks for coming out. Whoops. Just getting up on Restream here. I'm going to open up the camera. Hey, what's going on? I am BirdDogJon. Back at it again on a Tuesday. I need to just check my audio. Well, I could do this actually on Facebook, I guess. This one right here, right? Okay, cool. It's all there, and I can hear myself. So hopefully you can hear me. I'll turn the tunes down a little bit. And see if I could push the... Oh, the restream on Facebook looks terrible. It's all pixelated. Well, that's a shame. No big deal. All right. So, thanks for hanging out. We got... YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch now. All the three major platforms that I'm connected to without a paid subscription to Restream. So we are streaming to all those places, and thank you for stopping by if you are in one of those places. So there's a few people on Twitch, a few people on Facebook. Appreciate that. I'm going to do my best to try and monitor each of those places. So let's just try and do that here. Facebook is here. I want that up here. And the YouTube stream, which is right, view event. Right here. This is all pretty new to me right now. Whoa! And the audio. Okay, cool. All three are up and running. So, good to go. That's pretty cool. I do get some like live stats back through Restream from like people that are watching or whatever, so that's fun. But I don't think that the comment section, I think I have to monitor all three comment sections. So if you comment, I will try my best. If you comment on Twitch, it shows up here in OBS. If you comment on YouTube, obviously on the YouTube page, and then on Facebook, that's where it's found too. So anyways, the real core of this and what I did, obviously you can see Twitch is kind of the main focus. Is the top left of your screen says Twitch BirdDog Live, but I've recently expanded to other platforms, so we'll see how this goes. So far I like the Restream.io interface. It seems to be working pretty well, and I like that it's kind of a consistent send up to one service, and then they handle the handing out to the rest. So I like that. I think we're a few seconds behind on Twitch, but then it's a little bit greater on the YouTube stuff, so, and Facebook for that matter. Anyway, good times. Okay, so I'm BirdDogJon. I am the primary support manager for bird-dog.tv, which is our website. We primarily make full NDI products, which basically means they're units that take video, or they're cameras, and they convert them into network data so that you can send them across the building, across your network, across multiple networks, or across the internet. So the internet basically touches every continent. And if you have fast enough upload speed, you can pretty much send it wherever you want, and we provide the solution to get that signal from the source all the way to your destination network. So if you get questions or anything like that, please feel free to ask me. I have no issue talking you through those things, but that's what I do. And I service cameras and encoders and all that sort of good stuff. I need to figure out where my camera focus is. For some reason, it doesn't want to focus on me. It's struggling. So yeah, and then there's a huge NDI community, and there are lots of companies that do NDI, and then there are some that it's like their profession, and that's all they do. So that's where we are. We're basically a full NDI exclusive shop. We don't really swim in any other lanes. We don't really do a lot in terms of just other production pieces. We have software that complements the NDI stuff. We have an integration with something called Dante, which many of you probably don't know what that is, but if you run in my personal circles, Dante is basically a way of taking audio and turning it into network data and sending it across, but it's a totally different protocol. And BirdDog last week just released a program that basically bridges the two protocols together so that you can send NDI audio over to Dante or Dante audio into the NDI world. So that's a pretty big step forward. And we're the only piece of software out there that does it. Audinate, whatever they're called, the parent company for Dante, basically primarily does hardware. And so they have all sorts of like body packs and things to capture audio, but for the most part, they're not really a software company. And so we have come out with basically the first real piece of Dante software that bridges the two and allows you to have like a full-on chat. So anyway, if you want to join us in the chat today, if you want to talk, I'm here for the hour until noon Eastern Standard Time, which is the time zone I'm in. Jump on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/BirdDogJon, all one word. And it's, do I have my handle on the screen? I don't even have my handle on the screen. Oh boy. Okay, well, I'll fix that. Oh, well, BirdDogJon is in the corner of my video, I guess. Twitch.tv/BirdDogJon, just like that. And you'll go to the Twitch stream, and there is a live chat that happens here every week, basically, with questions and people doing stuff. And I have some pretty normal, regular viewers these days, and so we like to meet up with them, see kind of who's standing in the wings. Oh yeah, there's a few regulars standing in the wings. So yeah, let me know you're here. Let me know what's going on in your NDI world. Really, what this started at, what this stream really started as was a way to have somebody in the BirdDog company like visible and that you could communicate with in real time, basically, and talk through issues. Because we get a lot more covered if you just ask your question and I can kind of walk you through. I can show you examples of any BirdDog product that you want, minus the 4K family and the 4K cameras, because I don't have those yet. But I have a keyboard, I have P200s, I have a P100, I've got an A300 sitting in the back, I've got an A200 out in the hallway. If that's like something you absolutely need, I can unbox that. But it's shipped up and ready to go back to the distributor. So I have pretty much all of the regular cameras. I've got studios, I've got minis. Yeah, so I'm good to go. If you need any sort of help or you want to see how I set things up, I'm happy to talk about network stuff. The only caveat there is that I'm not recommending any sort of design. It's up to you to design it, and it's up to you to own it. But if you want to talk about networking problems that you're having, or maybe you're just not familiar with networks or something like that, this is a good place to do that. And there are guys usually sitting around, who can help us answer those questions as well. So I'm interested in helping you do that. I'm helping you get your NDI stuff. I believe that BirdDog makes the best equipment in the world, and it's not just because they write my paychecks, but it's because it literally is the best stuff that's available today. So if you're looking to get into the NDI game, consider the BirdDog ecosystem. The more BirdDog stuff you get, the more it all talks together. The BirdDog keyboard is a good example of that, where we've written our own communication NDI protocol, one that NewTek came out with for the NDI standard. So we can control NDI to your BirdDog cameras directly. There's a couple others that it will work for as well, like PTZ Optics and NewTek, the PTZ1. I forget what their camera's called. I don't pay attention, but so some other cameras do work over the NDI protocol. The rest of them are usually VISCA IP, which is a protocol that keyboard does support, and RS232, which is an old school way of communicating to cameras, and RS422, which is a less adopted version of the VISCA protocol. I don't even use the name VISCA because what happens is people hear VISCA IP, and then people hear VISCA and they think it's the same thing, and it's not. It's the same word, but VISCA IP is very different, where the VISCA protocol can be implemented in multiple ways, where the VISCA IP is straight up on an Ethernet jack, and you have to have a controller and a camera that talk VISCA IP. And in particular, you need to have a camera that talks the language of the VISCA IP dialect that camera is integrated. So the P200 line, actually all of our cameras, they all speak Sony VISCA IP. They're Sony lenses inside of our cameras. And so they all speak Sony Visca IP, which is one of like 6 or 8, or I don't know how many they have. There's a whole bunch. So be sure that if you're buying like a third-party controller, like a Scarhoy or like a Marshall or something like that, that the controller you're buying speaks the Sony Visca IP dialect, because there are multiples, and everybody just calls them Visca IP, and so that's not helpful. It's like, anyways, calling English just straight up English, and really there's a whole bunch of variables: Canadian English, American English, the English. There's different versions, and they all sound different, and they all kind of talk the same, but they're not identical. And so if you're buying a third-party controller, or you're buying a third-party camera and you want to connect it to the BirdDog controller, be sure that it actually talks the correct Visca IP language, because that will be the one that you're using to connect. This in particular, like vMix has a Sony Visca IP protocol that you can control the PTZs with. That is the correct one, not just the Visca IP, but the Sony Visca IP. That's the one that you have to pick. So you need to know that before you buy products. What language are you going to speak across your NDI network? And, what is going to actually control it? Obviously, I strongly advise you just buying into a single company, so that all of the products are supported through a single channel, and that all of the products will likely all talk to each other, because they're all being designed by the same company. So doesn't mean the products are the same. We've had this interesting conversation the past few weeks, where people think that they buy cameras, different brand cameras from BirdDog, and they think they're going to get the same image off of each of the sensors, when that's really just not the case. The P100 and the P200 in particular are different lenses. They're different sensors. They handle color differently and in different ways. So if you are thinking that, I'm buying 2 cameras, they just happen to be different, but they're different model numbers, but they should at least look identical. That's not true. And the same thing is true between different Sony. Sony has different variables in terms of what cameras they release. I run a Canon EOS M50, for example, for this, which is not focusing for some reason. So I'm going to actually hug you here for a minute and try and fix that. It's driving me bonkers. This one. Oh, that would be why. The autofocus is in like the bottom corner. Okay, so that's much better. So, Sony cameras all have different lenses, and they all have different brain power, and they're all from the same company. And so be careful if you're looking for 3 cameras and you want all the pictures to match. You need to buy 3 of the same cameras, 3 of the same models. Same thing works for like building networks. You wouldn't buy a Netgear switch and a Ubiquiti switch and a Cisco switch and expect them, just because they're all switches, to behave the same. They all have drastically different features. They all talk completely different. They all send packets completely different. You have to buy in at some point. And if you start building a network and you realize that you want to change, like this network, these Netgear switches are not going to hold up when I start expanding a bunch of stuff, you have to change them all out. You can't just buy the new, better ones and leave the crappy ones in the stream that are 5 years old. You got to switch them out, because that's how that works. Is everything needs to talk the same. Everything needs to have the same, level of, what am I trying to get at? The words just totally left. Everything needs to be running basically at the same level that the company, basically implements. So it's important. Check that out. But be sure that you keep that in mind as you're designing your networks. Hey, everything going well in Australia? I think so. I live in Michigan. I live in the US. But from what I've heard, things are going all right. They're still in severe lockdown in Victoria. I haven't heard of that being lifted. So that's like crazy fines. They're not allowed to go into the office. Everybody's working from home. You can barely go to the grocery store. Apparently you have to go to the grocery store closest to you. If you go to one that's not closest to you, and then an official finds out that you live further away to this one than a different grocery store, then they can fine you and all this stuff. It's insane. So I hope that stuff gets kind of corrected and lifted, because that's not helping our productivity at all. But every country's going to handle this little pandemic thing differently. It's been going on all year. And now we're into it's middle to end of September. We're approaching the end of September, which is crazy to me. It keeps going so much faster every day. It seems like it's just, I feel like I gotta close some tickets or something, right? Like my goal is to close X amount of tickets a day, and that number keeps like staying the same or getting smaller because the days are going faster and everything's like getting out of hand. But yeah, no, I don't work at headquarters. I work in Michigan, and I'm just the product support guy. I think that title's gonna be product support manager or something like that. We're actually hiring a couple people, one in Australia and one in Europe. So if you're really good with networks and you have a lot of interest in NDI products and that sort of thing, there's a job description that is posted on the Facebook user group and on our Facebook homepage that they're looking for applicants. So if you're either in Europe or you're in Australia and you're looking for a job, BirdDog is hiring, and you would be working for and with me. So I don't know if maybe that just drove you away. Maybe I totally just squashed that interest. But it's a fun company. I've really enjoyed working for BirdDog. I think that they're doing good stuff, and like I said, it's the best products on the market. It's fun to be on the inventing side. It's frustrating at times because like you're making stuff up, like you're inventing new products, and then people are taking those products and working them into their own network design and network ideas. And so it's pretty cool, but it also comes with its own set of challenges. So if you're good with people, and I don't know if I am, but if you're good with people and you can respond in timely manners and you're all right with typing emails, I've actually even been experimenting with dictation on my computer because I spend so much time typing and retyping that it would be easier for me just to respond and then just check for spelling errors and then send it off. So I've been working on that, but my English isn't fluent and I'm still studying. Gotcha. Well, let me know if you're interested. English, when you work for a global company, English is not necessarily the first requirement. It says English speaking, I think, on the application, but if you were a stellar support agent, we would probably look past that. I know some people in the US that I would love to bring on board, but we're not hiring here yet. So, anyways, here's hoping. BirdDog has a big year planned, like this year and next year. Actually, this year's already been a big year. So this time last year, we had like 3 products, and we were gearing up for NAB New York, which was in like mid-October. And that was a really fun trip. I went with Dan and Eamon to New York and New York City, and we had a good time at that show. But we were gearing up for a pretty big year, and which has been a big year, but it's been not what we planned it because of COVID and because of a bunch of other things. And so anyway, we've got some big things planned for this year. And if you are, like I said, if you're interested in getting into this world, we are looking for a couple of people, one in Europe, one in Australia, to help. Like Australia's not watching. It's 1:15 in the morning. But yeah, if you're in the support world, reach out to us. We'd be interested. Got some activity on Facebook. This is my first day streaming to Facebook Live. So that's fun. A couple of people, hey, what's going on, everybody, over on Facebook? Thanks for hanging out. There's no chatter yet, and same with YouTube, but that's fine. It's a little bit easier to chat in the Twitch thing, but I'm going to watch all of the places that we can chat. So if you want your chat to show up actually online here and we can walk you through stuff, jump over onto Twitch, twitch.tv/BirdDogJon, and I'd be happy to help you out there. A lot of you guys are working from home, so we can definitely chat wherever you are available. If you don't have a Twitch handle, hit me up on Facebook or hit me up on YouTube. The handle for Facebook, well, it's just my personal profile, so I guess if you're not my friend, you may not see it. But YouTube, you could go to my YouTube page, and that account, if you look for Jono Knutson, Jono, and then my last name Knutson, Knutson, Knutson. TSON. You will probably find me if I write in BirdDogJon. Does it show up? It does. Just type in BirdDogJon, and it'll show up on Facebook. That's cool. I like that. Michael Graves, what's going on, man? Welcome. I saw you hanging around there in the back of the chat. I appreciate that. I knew you were there. Good to see you again, man. How are things going in your corner of the world? Whoa, my USG has 100% internet capacity being used. That doesn't make any sense. I wonder if you can merge the various chat tools using something like Matrix. Perhaps. Perhaps. There's gotta be a way to do it, right? You can update titles. I wonder if that's a paid feature too, right? So right now on the actual stream page, it doesn't show any of those options. But if I were to pay for this service, settings, billing, upgrade. I would love to just funnel everything into this one here, right? That gets fed onto back to all of them. Matrix.org. I'll check that out. Bugzeek, what's going on? Morning. What part of the country are you waking up on? Because right now, Australia's asleep and they're the next ones to wake up. So you're getting up somewhere here in the States, I assume. Unless you're just saying morning because it's my morning, which is also very thoughtful, but I don't know if that's where you're getting it at. Matrix is open standard for secure, decentralized real-time communication, Apache licensed. Messaging, VoIP, bridging. I'll check this out, yeah. Everett, all right. Yes, then you would, Everett. Washington State? So you're on the other side. You're 3 or 4 hours after me, right? Okay, Google. What time is it in Everett, Washington? 8:22? Yep. That is early morning for you. Welcome. Hey, I am from Russia and I do not know English well, so I will listen to you. Uh-oh. Are you using me as an example of how to speak English? That, I might lead you in the wrong direction. Please don't hold me accountable for that. Oh, this is Zach. Yeah, hey Zach, how's it going? Of course. It's amazing how many people, you work with them on tickets and you have phone calls and Zoom meetings and all this stuff. And then they pop up in Twitch and they're like, oh, hey, how's it going? Starting to make some connections, you know? 2 comments. Who commented? I can't see it because Facebook is terrible. 2 comments. Hey, John, just listening to see what you're up to. Sounds cool. All the best. Hey, thanks, Steve. Appreciate that. You're a Twitch streamer? I'm a Twitch streamer for my company, and I used to stream. This is John Riston. He's a buddy of mine. Down in Florida, right, Riston? I went to college with John. So, yeah, I have a Twitch stream here for BirdDog, and then I used to do some gaming, but I should really start that up because I do actually, so I get the kids and the wife off to school, and they leave before 7 a.m., and then I usually play a game. They're not usually super thrilling, and I don't commentate to myself, so I doubt that I would have much interest first thing in the morning. And I'm a strategy / management game type of guy for the most part, with the exception of Battle for Middle Earth and X-Plane 11. But for the most part, I'm high-rise project managers and, like the Command and Conquer games and that sort of stuff, where it's like you build units and bases and whatever and try and manage things. So yeah, so I have that stream as well, but it's been off for a while. So this one is the most active. I'm on here twice a week, and now will be available twice a week on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So that's pretty fun. People can log in for an hour and watch me drink excessive amounts of coffee. And touch base with guys that I haven't talked to in ages, like Steve Cox and John Riston. So, hey guys, how's it going? Yes, that is what I'm up to. Is we build camera devices and converters. I hate the word converter because it gives the wrong impression. It sounds like a scaler. Encoders and decoders. Do that. BirdDogJon.tv. And here, I'll give you a little preview. Yoink. Bird Dog. Oh, hey, we are aware that there is a problem if you try and submit new support tickets on our website right now. For some reason, it denies it. So just email me, help@bird-dog.tv. That's still working. And I've got to ticket in with Freshdesk to try and sort that out. All of that might be changing soon, like our CRM and all that stuff. I haven't heard specifically if it is, but it is all supposedly changing soon. So we might be even moving away from Freshdesk. I don't know. But for now, just email me your ticket ideas or ticket needs, and I'll get back to you on that stuff. Whoops. Cool. So this is our website, and this is bird-dog.tv. This was just launched last week. This is called Dante Bridge. This is a little program that we wrote to bring Dante signals into NDI and NDI into Dante. And if you're not sure what any of that is, NDI is basically a video. It's a video format that is in network data format. So you can you have a camera and it gets converted into NDI, and then you can send that across your network or across, multiple networks or across dark fiber or across the internet, literally across the world. So it's doing this whole remote production thing that has exploded because of the pandemic, and allowing people to have remote sites around the world and bringing it all back to the same production studio, which right now is most people's home offices. So they're making these connections with BirdDog Cloud. Dante is a audio protocol, bringing audio across your network. NDI and Dante, until recently, are totally different protocols. This little program makes them talk together. So that has been a long expected release. Check out the website if you want to kind of learn more about what that is. But as of right now, that's been released. 4K Family is also the latest encoder that we have fully released and ready to go. It's the smallest recorder on the planet right now, and it'll do 4K. It's an encoder, not a recorder, an encoder. Where's mine? I have multiples of these hanging around, but when I need to show them, of course, I have no idea. I have a backpack on my confidence monitor, which is a Ninja 5 or Ninja V or whatever they call it. And then I've got another one somewhere, but apparently I can't find it. So, oh, there it is. Okay, so this is BirdDog Flex. It is a little tiny device that you plug into your network, and then you plug your HDMI source into it. And this is PoE, so it's just a single cable that's powered by the switch, if that's an option on your switch. So the little unit turns on by itself. And I'll just actually do this in real time. So I plug it into my PoE switch and goes through the little boot up sequence. It takes I don't know, maybe 2 minutes or something like that. Oh, is this even plugged into something? Yes, it is. Okay, so there, it's yellow, lights up, and turns on basically. And then we get a HDMI source, plug that into this, and then we're able to, a broadcast source, and get that able to send that across on the network. So then you go to your computer and you use a little program called NDI Studio, which is free, and you select the source that you want, and Bob's your uncle. And then now I can control this over my network. This, I was monkeying with a bunch of the settings. That's why it looks like this. Let's just go back to full auto. Okay, so here is my P200 that's kind of like down by my sound rig. And as you can see, I'm just controlling this over my computer. That's a pan-tilt zoom camera. You can take the HDMI source out of this if you want and send it to one of these encoders, but our cameras actually do NDI natively, so this is outputting NDI over my network right now. And I can control it. You know, I don't want to necessarily move this around too much because you're going to see a really messy office. This is all just a show. This little screen up here, that's got me. Yeah, it's a dump. It's a really bad mess in here. So, anyways, so in short, that's NDI, and you can if I can see it here on this computer, then I could see it downstairs on my network as well. And so the theory is like if my subnet goes throughout my entire office, then I could see it anywhere in my office or on my campus or wherever that subnet goes. So you could extend it wherever you could connect it. And then if you need to go off your network and onto someone else's that's in the next town or in the next state or in the next country, you use BirdDog Cloud, which is a product that we have. It's a subscription-based service, and you basically link the two together. And then at your remote destination, you can control the camera over there from your production spot. So it enables, because it's turning it into network data, it enables us to do a lot of cool stuff and a lot of neat little things. So check out the website. I think you'd be surprised as to all the cool stuff that's going on there. Are there any plans for decoders that are outdoor proof? What does that mean? Like the Flex will be, there's a decoder Flex Out, right? And that one has internal fans, so it's going to be able to manage heat a little bit better instead of the minis in the studios that they are a heat sink, but if you put them in the sun, that's kind of counterproductive. So I would say, do you mean like weatherproof and waterproof and all that? Because I don't know of any plans immediately for that. Mainly because you either have to have airflow or you have to have ambient, ambient radiant ventilation. So that would be a very difficult. When is Flex Decode coming out? Flex Out is due, I think, within the month. My buddy Phil, is Phil in here? Phil. Well, let me see if I can come up with some shipping dates. Hang on one second. Let me see what I can. You came here to the Twitch show to find out this information, so I better try and track it down for you. Oh, I gotta jump back to my Facebook. Make sure no one else is commenting. Okay, cool. So, Flex Out. Nope, there is not an expected date. I thought it was pretty much done. But I can't give you a specific launch date or when that will be released. I will do you a favor, though. If you come back on Thursday, I'll ask the team what's kind of going on with that, and I can try and get you an answer. Let me just check in with them. Overseas, do we have a release date or estimation for Flex Out? Sure, we'll see what we can come up with for you. Maybe they'll answer here. Who knows? Cool. Yeesh. We currently have BirdDog Minis in Pelican cases with waterproof connectors, but a dedicated encoder that's waterproof would be nice. Yeah, I don't know if you could because of the electrical connections that, like, we do the PoE Plus and we do a few other things, and so I think you would end up, given the marketing strategy of BirdDog products, where basically like we don't charge any extra for the full NDI version. I mean, we don't, for that matter, we don't have an HX version. But we don't, we're competitive one-to-one with the major HX converters, and HX is so full of latency and quality issues, and everybody and their mom is making HX stuff. Like, there's so many factories in China that are just doing out, like, making knockoff stuff. we saw at least a half a dozen announcements earlier in the year of, full 4K or 4K, NDI and yada yada yada, and all these announcements. Nothing's come of them. We actually have one. We actually have a fleet of these that are working, that are all 4K. So sometimes people announce it to like get hype up and whatever, and they come out and they're going to be super low. The disadvantages with that, I mean, you're welcome to try them out, use them. They might be stellar. The disadvantages is there's no support and there's no warranty, and you get kind of it'll work until it dies, and then that's it. So we at least offer a year warranty on all of our gear. The cameras, all the cameras have a 2-year warranty. The keyboards have a 2-year warranty, and we're still within 2 years of that launch, so which means that everything's covered right now. What do you want me to tell Judson? I'll have to see him later today. I borrowed a studio from him for an event that I did. What do you want me to tell Judson? What is this, a ticket number you're talking through? I need to... Let me hang on here. Let me look this up. No ticket number. So refresh my memory. I look at about like 200 tickets a week, so I'll need something to go on here. I'm drawing a blank. Cross-platform chat, restream. Engage viewers in a multi-chat. Ooh. Forget tab switching. Read and reply to messages from multiple streaming platforms on one screen. Download. Oh man. That would be slick if that actually exists. Anything you want me to say? Oh yeah, well hey Judson. I know Judson. Yeah, hopefully he's doing well. I know he's been busy with all this crazy pandemic stuff, so that'd be good. Hopefully he hasn't needed to contact me recently, which is always good. Hopefully he's still buying our stuff, but and implementing our stuff. But yeah, hopefully he's doing well. Tell him hello from me. Appreciate him. Installing Restream. Okay, whoa, hopefully this won't crash my system. There's massive frame drops here. Let's see what we got going on. Restream login. Okay, what is that? Whoa, no! Where are you? Somebody want to answer this riddle for me? Sometimes when you move an open window from one screen to another, it minimizes everything. Does that happen to anybody else? Happens to me all the time. And it drives me crazy. All right. Restream. What do we need here? Username or email? Email. Copy. Yoink. Loading. 2-factor authentication code. Oh yeah, I enabled that. Authenticate app. Today is the first day in probably 2 weeks that I don't have a scheduled Zoom meeting. I have one, but it's a company meeting later on today. But yesterday I had 4, and then one in the evening. Highlight all the traffic lights. What? Highlight all the motorcycles. Hooray! Hold on, we're connecting to all your channels. Okay. Pretty simple. Huh? To activate, please enable your channels here. They are enabled. Okay, so maybe I can't do it while I'm streaming, but I will. No? No? Okay. Okay, so we'll give that a go after the show. I'm gonna put this on my taskbar somewhere. Pin. There we go. Okay, cool. All right, well that's fun. That's exactly what I need. I don't want to talk across. I don't want to monitor 3 stream chats. I just want to have one open. So that's really good. So far, really liking Restream.io. If you're into streaming and you want to stream to YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, if you want to pay for it, you can stream to LinkedIn. You can stream to a bunch of places. And then there's a whole bunch that I've never heard of. Yeah. If that's something you want to do, check out Restream.io. It looks like a pretty solid product, and I've been pretty happy with it. I've used it 2 streams last week, or maybe 1 stream last week, and then today. So it's going well. I really like it. I don't know if I'll keep the live streams on Facebook, because it's going to my personal account right now. If you pay for it, you can push it to like the groups that you're part of or the groups that you own. So that would be nice, because then I could send it right to the Bird Dog group. But yeah, don't know if I'm that committed yet. What are the prices for this thing? Billing, programs, upgrade. Okay, so whoa. Yearly prices. Standard gives you 1 custom destination, recording up to 6 hours, stored for up to 15 days, streaming to Facebook public pages and groups, and 10 on-screen participants in studio. 10 on-screen participants? I don't know what that is. Doesn't the company pay for it? What, BirdDog? No, man, a lot of this is on me. A lot of this I do on my own. I mean, they probably would if I was like, I want to do this, but I'm not coming up for things that I'm not dreaming up ways that they can pay for expenses. I handle a lot of this myself. So you can pay standard, professional, premium, or business. Oh man. Yeah, I don't know if even the standard would be worth it for me. On-screen participants in studio. What is that? I don't know what that is, but I want to find out what that is. Restream.io. No, and by the way, I mean, I put this on pretty much on my own. Hey, somebody just signed up or started following the channel. I appreciate that, BBRTV2. Thanks for hanging out. I used to do this. Where are we? This one right here. That's for you. It's my little celebration noise that somebody followed my channel. It's pretty fun. The Restream.io, what did I say? On-screen participants? Get Restream studio guests. You can now easily invite guests to your stream. The long-awaited feature is here. It allows inviting people to your stream. When you're all set and prepared for your stream, or even when you're already live streaming, simply click on the guest icon and you'll receive a link that you can share with your guests to connect. The guest will be able to join your stream by following the link. You can share the instructions with the guest. Your guests will need to provide access to their microphone and camera. As soon as your guest is connected, you will see them on the left bottom corner. There you can easily control Ustream flow. There you can easily control Ustream, probably your stream flow. Show and hide guests on the stream, remove guests, change, and the display view. Well, that's kind of cool. However, I use Streamlabs OBS. And so I don't use the studio inside Restream. It's an interesting idea, but I would probably hook somebody up with BirdDog Cloud if I was going to do that. But anyways, it's a good idea. Do live chat like that. I don't hate it. Yeah. Okay, well, what else? Back to the show. So yeah, we haven't really covered too much in terms of NDI questions or anything like that. Feel free to throw stuff at me if you need to. That's what I'm here for. I got another 15 minutes before I got to go back to the tickets. So let me know what you got going on, and I can certainly help you out with that. Yeah, in the meantime, let me see what is going on here. Yoink. All right, getting a message here from my guys. So Flex is still... It's going to be Q4, Flex out. That's the plan, I think. So by the end of the year for sure, but I'm not 100%. I still don't have an actual date if you're waiting around to find out like what day it will be launched. They don't want to launch it until they absolutely know it's ready, and I think that it's a manufacturing thing at this point. We have the like form factor, we have all that stuff worked out. I do know that they're working night and day on, literally night and day on the 4K family. So quad, 4K HDMI, and 4K SDI. Just because that unit has already pre-launched and they're finishing up the final firmware. So I know that that's been a big push to get that kind of going. So probably beginning of Q4, maybe like mid Q4. I don't know. Chat with you later. Oh, tell him you said hi. Plus, I've been pushing your gear in my install and looking at them. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I put them in my church. That's where it's at, and they like them so much they told me yesterday they want to buy another camera. So okay, will do. So yeah, I gotta get to our distributor, see what we can do about getting one to the church. Probably, I think it's like first of next year, but at this point with budget planning and all that sort of stuff, we basically just need to find out how much and plan for it in the budget. So I'm pretty excited about that. But cool. And of course, come back Tuesday, Thursdays, 11 to 12. Let me know, or 8 to 9 for you. And let me know if you got any questions or anything you need to know before you purchase. Just, come on by and let me know. I'll be happy to talk to you about it. How's it going, Facebook viewers? I see you guys hanging out there. I don't know if there's a way for me to actually see which of my friends are actually watching that stream, but thanks for hanging out. Brand new on Facebook today, so we're going to try that out for a little bit, and to give you a chance to see my shining, smiling face. That may drive you away, actually. But anyway, thanks for hanging out. Hey, should we be able to run BirdDog NDI multi-viewer on the same machine as vMix? I strongly suggest not doing that. Dave Watts, he's on Facebook. What's going on, Dave? Good to see you, man. Multi-viewer is pretty heavy in terms of what it requires to generate the feeds and all that sort of good stuff. So vMix is pretty heavy in and of itself, and then adding multi-viewer, if it were me, I wouldn't do it, but it's totally up to you. It's your gear, right? But I think the idea with multi-viewer was it was going to run on an independent machine because, it's a pretty task-heavy thing to bring in all of those NDI feeds at full value and then turn them around and convert them to whatever you want, either output NDI or run full screen or something like that. So I would suggest probably getting a dedicated machine to do that. Now, with that being said, there is a revision for Multiviewer, I believe, coming out this year, I think. So if you're like on the fence, or you can get away with vMix and Multiviewer for now and you want to play next budget year to do something like that, then I get it and I understand. But if it were me, I wouldn't run both vMix and Multiviewer on the same machine, because Multiviewer is a very CPU heavy program. Hey Dave, you'll appreciate this. I bought a Canon M50 to run this, primarily to run this Twitch show, although I've been really happy with the results of the photos that it takes. So good to see you, man. Dave Watts is one of my photography buddies, and he's also one of my camping guys. From ages ago, actually. I saw pictures of us up at camp, but it was like many years ago now. So, gotta get you back up there now that you're settling down a little bit. Congrats on the wedding, man. That's cool stuff. Yeah, I really like the M50 for the price point and for what it does, and I've got the adapter, so I kept all my lenses. I still have the T2i, but it's kind of collecting dust at this point. I should either sell it or give it to a family member or a friend or somebody that's wanting to get into photography. It's still a good camera, it's not the M50. And there are better cameras than the Canon M50, I know. But for this one, especially in the actual camera mode, like the autofocus and everything that's involved in this is super nice. And you can pick, it's touchscreen and everything, so you can pick where where it autofocuses or whatever. So it has been a long time, Dave. Yes, I want to go back camping too. So we canceled this year, eh? So I converted to Sony. Yeah, A7. Yeah, good choice. Also a very good contender. But you make a living off of taking photos, right? So I'm sure Mike would love to have you back up at camp to have somebody talk photography with him. That would be... He would be very happy to see you again. Your voice is so heavy. YouTube. I don't know what that means. Does that mean you hate it, or is that like a negative thing? I guess I could watch the... Here, hang on, let me listen to the audio on YouTube and see what you're... Do you just mean it's low, or it's like painful to listen to? Somebody wrote on YouTube, your voice is heavy. Loved it, man. Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'll do what I can. I promise I'm not pushing it. It is actually my voice, but I'm just saying. Oh, well, thank you. And thank you for stopping by and chatting on YouTube. I appreciate that. It's cool stuff. It's fun to have different outlets where people can connect. Lol. I don't have like a show voice. I just have the regular voice. I would love to do that for sure. Yeah, man. Dave, as soon as you can come back, dude, you let me know. You're always welcome. Anytime, brother. Well, this has been fun. It's fun to have like people video quality 10 out of 10. Oh, awesome. Wow, you're just full of compliments today. That's great. Thanks. More comments on YouTube. I gotta figure out a way to like merge all this stuff so you guys can see all the chat going on. It's gotta be a way to do it, right? Just well, why don't I just use my brain and there's got to be a way. Combine multiple platform chats in stream. Oh. Restream.io already has this feature for quite some time, and it would be awesome to have the same option in Streamlabs chatbot widget. Huh. Seriously, take a vote. Account merger is here. Been a busy month. When was this produced? 2017? What on earth? Maybe there's a way to do it. Maybe. Streamlabs. No. Stop autofilling. All right, let me check here. Actually, some people who have many subscribers and don't have good camera, and that thing sucks. Are you a software engineer? No. I am a product specialist for a company called BirdDogJon. Yeah, I was using my camera. I was using originally was the Logitech C920, and that's like the most popular webcam for guys on Twitch. Like it's been rated #1 for the past 5 years or something like that. And I was like, okay, if I'm gonna get this any better, then I need to step it up in terms of being able to connect real, like, good quality lenses to the system, and then be able to output that into whatever streaming software I end up landing on. So that's basically what I did. That's why I wanted the M50, because it wasn't going to kill me on price. I mean, it was still expensive enough for me for a webcam version, but I also get the dual ability to use it as a camera, so that's been nice. But yeah, for the most part, I'm really happy with this. And there's an autofocus feature which was super slow on the Logitech, and now it's actually quite fast. So it'll dial it in from pretty close, and then, you know, so if I move away from my desk, I'm usually always in focus. I don't have to worry about the Logitech keeping up. The Canon will do it, no problem. So I really like that. The R600 and R500. Oh, you're talking about the Ruckus stuff. So in a different life, I worked for a collegiate environment, which is where that video is actually shot. And yeah, I was doing product reviews for Wi-Fi access points, and the R600 and R500 were two of the ones that I looked at, because we had implemented the Ruckus system as kind of like our backbone collegiate level, you know, we have dormitories, hotel system type of thing. And so, yeah, I just, we had implemented them. I had done most of the legwork. I was the network administrator in that position. And so instead of paying for the system to be installed like a regular university, they let me do it all. And so that was a challenge. But I learned a lot during that process. And I had done the previous wireless system as well. So I'd ripped out an old one and put in like Unify. And then I ripped that out a year and a half later and put in Ruckus. So a lot of this stuff was already run. We had to reposition a lot of stuff. But the two installs while I was there, I worked at that place for 6 years or so. The two installs that we did over that period of time, we kind of spread the workload out on both projects. So that's what that was like. I'm the brother of Unbox Therapy. Actually, so funny story is he's based in Toronto and I'm from Toronto. So we could very well be somewhat distantly related, but I appreciate that's an enormous compliment if you're comparing me to Unbox. So yeah. You will notice I'm not kidding. I'm from Toronto. I live in Michigan now. Got married, fell in love, all that sort of jazz. So typical brother from another mother. Yeah, I enjoy his stuff. I got hooked on him and Marquez and Linus, who's out in BC, and a couple. I talk like I know them. I don't. I know of them from YouTube, and they do great work. So, are you using a capture card? Dave Watts on Facebook says, "Are you using a capture card to hook the camera up to the computer, and which one. No. So the M50, you can use USB-C to output the video, and it's a 720 image, I think. But for this, because I'm cramming it down, it's 720/60, I believe, because I'm compressing it down into this tiny little box. And I can actually have a full screen support version camera. So if I do this, you can kind of see it getting a little softer on the edges. But if I shrink it down to my normal, it's pretty crisp. It works pretty well. So I like that a lot. I'm a fan of his setup, man. It's so classy. Yeah, it's true. BirdDog has actually, we've been starting to talk about doing tutorials and doing product features and running it a bit like that. Certainly don't want to copy anyone's style, but there's just a couple of ways to do it, essentially. I mean, you can try and reinvent it, but eventually they all look kind of similar. So we're just trying to decide on how to do that. But yeah, more of those will show up, I think. How to use BirdDog stuff, how to implement it in your network, all that sort of good thing. So I think I'm supposed to help produce those. So we'll see. So yeah, Dave, I'm using USB-C, and it goes directly to a 3.0 port, and it shows up as a webcam feature. You use the Canon, I'm using the Canon EOS webcam beta to bring in the image, and then from there I can bring it into OBS as a webcam source, as a USB source. If I'm doing NDI stuff, so I have my NDI cameras here. You can do that one of two ways. I can share a desktop and open Studio Monitor. So I work for a camera company now, right? So I can open that up, and then I can share the desktop here, and you can see the actual camera that's here. That's a Sony 1/2-inch CMOS sensor. And I can control it because it's NDI. I can control it, over my network, essentially. But I could also bring an NDI signal into OBS, and hopefully, well, I'm not going to try it because it always crashes my system. But I could bring it into OBS, set it up before the show, make sure it works, bring it into OBS, and then I could share an NDI feed through OBS, and that's network protocol. That's a network protocol that we're using. And NDI talks to OBS. So I could use something like BirdDog Cloud and bring in an NDI signal from a remote site, and then have like a one-to-one chat with somebody that way. And I'm really tempted to do that very soon, because I'd love to do a little like mock interview and get it kind of set up that way so that we can do that correctly. And then people could participate a little bit more and get to know some of like the players in the NDI game. I have connections with people who might want to talk and chat and talk to end users, so it might be fun. Might see what we can do there. Would you recommend a GoPro Hero 8 or DSLR for vlogging? My preference right now is the DSLR. Actually, this is the DSMR, I guess it's called. It's the mirrorless. Mostly because it's faster. I feel like the picture is a little bit, the video picture is a little bit crisper. I know that. So I don't know why Sony did or Canon did this, but the Canon M50 does 4K video, but it records it at 24p, which is like, that's as high as it goes. And when you're doing video over computers, you need 30 or you need 60, essentially, or better. And you don't need the broadcast ones necessarily, 2997 or 5994, but you need to have decent frame rate. And I don't really want to record. If I was going to record in 24 frames, I'd record it in 60 and then move it down to 24 frames to get the cinematic look. But if you record in real time in 24 frames, it's not really what you like. That's not really what you're going for. So I don't know why. Hopefully it's just like a firmware update that's coming next year or something like that, that it'll enable at least 1080 30 or a 4K 30 or 4K 60. I doubt it, but hopefully. My wife and I are hosting online parties via Facebook, wanting to use good cameras to share their product. I should look into this. Yeah, this rig, I'm really happy with this. I use this for Zoom meetings and stuff, and it just works. Now, this is not the audio. Like the microphone I'm using is not the audio. You may have saw it actually on the NDI feed. Let me pull that back up. So I have a Rode NTG Rode 2 that goes into a USB interface. Oh, can you even see it from there? Nope, keyboard's in the way. Still can't. Right here. That's the NTG2 Rode microphone. It's a shotgun mic, so it works really well with kind of eliminating noises on the side. You know, seems to mitigate that pretty well. And I have a server running in my office, and so there's a hum, unify switches that are in my office, so those things make a little whine. So I try to eliminate all of that and get the best quality audio, you know, separately from the M50. Now there's an audio jack on the M50 that I could use, but I'd have to power it with a battery, and I don't want to do that. I use phantom power off of my USB audio interface, so that's how I do both of those. I basically bring it in over USB. I do some compression and a few other audio guy things, but then from there I dump it USB into here, and I bring it in as an audio source, and then I match it up. I try to match it up, and I didn't even check to see if things were matched up. Here, I can check though. Yeah, they look matched up on Facebook, so that's good news. Yeah, so YouTube chat, yeah. Me personally, I like the M50 setup better than the GoPro setup. I have a GoPro, not a GoPro 8. I have a GoPro like 3 Plus or whatever it was. Old school. What a good old 1080p 30. I could actually get the video off of that because I have the ability. I just choose not to because this thing is just so much nicer, and for the most part it's a good little rig. I've actually rigged it up using a monitor stand, so I've got a straight up monitor stand actually, and it has the monitor arms that come out, and I've mounted my key light to that, and then I've mounted my camera to another arm that comes out towards the center of my rig here, and I can adjust this. I can adjust the the zoom on the actual lens, and it'll keep up with me. I can just center that if I wanted to. If I really wanted that to be center and that close, kind of like really personal though, right? So but yeah, I can make manual adjustments without any problem. I even have a confidence monitor on top of that if I don't want to use the touchscreen, because I don't particularly like the touchscreen. The cables get in the way. So I have a Ninja V above that, and then I'm running a BirdDog Flex backpack on top of that. So if you don't know what all those things are, I'm happy to explain them. But for now, that's basically all we're at. So yeah, but my rig, I've pieced it together over the past year, just trying to make it a little bit. I wear hats usually, and so that's a problem for lighting. I like this outline though, and one of the main reasons I went with the M50 for Twitch and for streaming is because it kind of blows out the background a bit. I could get a shallower lens that would do that better. The options that I have are a 14mm ultra wide. I have a 50mm Canon. This one's too close. This is an 18-55, and and then I have the 75-300. So that one obviously wouldn't work either. So if I wanted to get the background blown out anymore, but keep this amount of my picture, I'd have to probably get a little different lens that's a little shallower, like maybe a 14 that's not an ultra wide. But I like it. Like it used to be on, if you look back on previous streams from, well, I don't know if they're still available, but everything was in focus, and it just kind of drove me nuts because it took away from the actual picture and how it really should be framed, how I think it should be framed. So I like this a lot better. It helps with Zoom meetings. It helps kind of hide the messiness and the busyness of the background, and instead keeps it very, a lot cleaner, I guess. So I like it this way. Each piece, like there's a video piece, right? Like with streaming, there's a video piece, and there's an audio piece, and each of those act independently. So if you're thinking about buying something and you think it's going to be like, it's going to do everything for you, it's going to be an awesome picture and a great sound, it's highly unlikely. Like it's it's highly unlikely that that's going to be the case. I have yet to find a camera that I love the onboard microphone. Or I've yet to find, well, I mean, that's pretty much it. You don't buy a microphone with an onboard camera. So, you know, you treat them independently. And that is a method that when I'm implementing, like, if I'm doing audio mixing, or if I'm running a show, or if I'm producing something or whatever, you think in those terms. You think the video, there are different subcategories in the video. So there's like the actual picture, there's lighting, there is what the set looks like, there's if the set's going to be in focus, you know, what's going to be in the background, what's not, how distracting can it be, what about coloration, what sort of color are you, like, I can change this key light, I can change the key light's color, right, to be, oh, not on there, apparently it's not added. So I can change it to be warmer, I can change it to be colder. What do I want it to look like? You know, the contrast on my black clothing, is that going to be like super black, or is it going to be kind of washed out? And I don't know, am I going to add color filters in OBS? And then the other conversation is sound, which is totally separate and apart. And for me, and so like what microphone and how is that going to go in there? Is it phantom power? Is it going to have enough wattage just going from here to the, you know, to the actual audio interface USB into my computer? Can I turn it up loud enough so that it's clear enough, so that when the background tracks are playing, it's clear enough, you know, there too. So I've done a lot of like I've purchased a lot of stuff for the audio stuff. The microphone, the stand, the cables, the compression, the compression and gate unit. I've purchased an audio interface. I've got power strips that are powering all this rig. I've got, you know, like just kind of, I bought a snake so that I could go from the backside out, you know, and I don't have to reach way in and do all this stuff. So you think through it and you work on it over time. You piece it together and then it seems to work. We just got a like from West 996. Thanks, man. Thanks for following along. Following on Twitch helps us big time with Twitch, because I'm trying to validate this. Hopefully it's been helpful to people. Thank you so much for following. That means a lot to me. And we always do this when somebody follows. So hopefully you hear that. I'm going to listen to the stream real quiet. And anyways, but that helps us out big time. I really appreciate that. Thank you to BBRTV and to West 996. I appreciate that. That's big help. And yeah, if you want to follow, hit me up on Twitch. That didn't even play. Come on. What happened? You did not hear that. Come on, guys. You got to jump in and say that did not play. That is what I wanted to play. Hopefully that was heard. I saw it on the thing. So anyways, yes. So yeah, if you want to follow along and help me out, jump on Twitch, twitch.tv/BirdDogJon, and hit that follow button. That will help me out. There. All right, I just confirmed you heard the horn, so yes! That's for you, West. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And now I know that screen on my Stream Deck doesn't work, so I'm going to erase that. I'm going to erase that entire stream. No, don't make that mistake again. Good stuff. Well, gosh, I'm just having so much fun today. Cool. All right, well, it is past the noon hour, and that is what I promised I would do. We do this Tuesday, Thursdays from 11 to 12 Eastern Standard Time. Please feel free to join me at any time. Hit me up on Facebook, YouTube. Just type in BirdDogJon, and my live streams will show up. Or join me here on Twitch at twitch.tv/BirdDogJon, and you can be a part of the conversation. We talk everything NDI, video, audio. We talk about, occasionally I talk about ruckus access points, networking, all that stuff. So bring it all, and I'll try and do my best to do what we can do and make this valuable to everybody that's on here. So thank you very much for hanging out, guys. I really appreciate you. I've had a lot of fun today, and I will be back on Thursday at 11 a.m. So if you're working from home and you have the luxury of opening up a second Chrome window, join me on something, one of my platforms, and come hang out and chat. And hopefully by then, I'll have this like unified chat thing from Restream, and I'll be able to talk to all of you in one place and not have to monitor 3 different screens. So we'll hit you up there. Yeah, Thursday 11 a.m. We'll see you then. Take care, guys. Have a good one. Cheers.